This is a disaster. After having a tremendous game from LeBron James and Luka Doncic leading the way and getting some much needed help from Reaves in the second half, and then Hachimura with a big game as well, the Lakers still fell to the Minnesota Timberwolves in Game 4, due in large part to some questionable officiating calls and Anthony Edwards really taking over there in that fourth quarter once again. What's good though? I'm Okechi Apakama. This is Lakers Digest coming at you with another video. And before we get into everything we have for you for today's video, I just want to remind you guys to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already to get those Laker updates, guys, because we are pushing towards 20,000 subscribers. And I'm just going to dive straight into that game because that really upset me as the Lakers fall in Game 4. And this game came down to some poor play down the stretch for the Lakers, and then also Minnesota executing down the stretch on their end and knowing where to go for the Lakers, but also just some weird officiating calls. So let's just dive straight into things and just heading straight into that box score for the Lakers. And like I said, Luka Doncic and LeBron James led the way for them. Luka Doncic had 38 points to go along with just a couple assists, which was down only one rebound. LeBron James had 27 points, 12 rebounds to go along with 8 assists, 3 steals, and 3 blocks. Was really committing to himself on the defensive end. He played 46 out of the 48 minutes along with Luka Doncic as well. The Lakers played a group that didn't rest in the second half. They did have very great game from Hachimura, had 23 points in this one. Austin Reaves really came on late strong. He had 17 points all in the second half with 7 rebounds and 4 assists. And nobody really of note other than Dorian Finney-Smith, who played 41 minutes off the bench because Jackson Hayes is looking unplayable as ever in this one. So the Lakers in that second half went to a group of LeBron James, Rui Hachimura, Austin Reaves, Luka Doncic, Dorian Finney-Smith, and those guys finished out the second half and played the entire game. Nobody had a rest anywhere, and Lakers kind of needed every single moment from those guys. Lakers were able to jump out to leads here and there, due in part to the spacing and the offense they were getting, but then sometimes things would be clunked up, and the T-Wolves were really creating some turnovers and leading to easy possessions for them on that end of the ball. And if we just take a look at their stats, just Anthony Edwards was tremendous, 43 points to go along with 9 rebounds and 6 assists. Julius Randle is playing the best basketball I've ever seen him play in my life. He has 25 points, 7 rebounds, 3 assists. They got also 16 points from McDaniels to go along with 11 rebounds, and then 12 points from Naz Reid, a bunch of them coming in that fourth quarter there, which really was the backbreaker for the Los Angeles Lakers. But just coming back to the Lakers, and this was a game that they needed to have to tie the series up 2-2, and they just couldn't able to get it done. Like I said, they were able to get to some good-sized leads here and there, had a 10 and a 12-point lead at different points, but it really fell apart there in that fourth quarter where the Lakers really just weren't getting the execution that they were executing there in the third quarter. Some of that could be due to all the Laker players not having a rest, which is a very interesting call from JJ Redick. I don't know if I fully agree with doing something like that of that nature, but the Lakers kind of needed some of that effort because they weren't getting it from a guy like Jackson Hayes, who started the game. He actually started the game pretty all right. He was fairly decent in his minutes, getting some tip outs, getting some much needed boards and stuff like that. But it all ended when he picked up his second foul and then picked up a technical foul. And if you are a role player and picking up a technical foul in a playoff game, that is just unacceptable. And I see why Jackson Hayes has not played a single minute, and he really must have lost himself probably a big payday here because of the way that he's looking here in these playoffs. So the Lakers went to that centerless lineup, which, like I said, worked at some points, but just really they couldn't get it done. There was some unforced errors, and then just the thing that I don't really lament about is the referees and just some of the calls that were being called some ways. Some people might look at a guy like LeBron James and having he had a ton of free throws in this game. Actually, LeBron James had 18 attempted free throws in this one, but he was just mostly playing with physicality and force and really getting downhill. And a lot of the guys on the T-Wolves team, they play physical, and LeBron was just playing up to that. And so the refs were calling that on that end, but there was just a lot of different just questionable things. I think the real big thing that JJ Redick alluded to in this press conference after the game saying was where the Lakers had the ball, they were only down by 1. They're coming up with the ball with Luka Doncic, and then he gets tripped up by Jaden McDaniels. No call is said anywhere whatsoever. The Lakers have to forced to take a timeout, and then LeBron has to inbound it in a very weird spot in the backcourt still because the Lakers didn't get over the half-court line. There's only 17 seconds left, so they have to find some way to throw it in without eating another timeout, and then they turn over the ball, and then it goes back on the other end where Anthony Edwards drives to the rim. LeBron looks like he gets a strip down, and it's going the other way. But the thing that probably pissed me off the most is the fact that the refs allowed a timeout to be called and then another timeout by the T-Wolves that and then they were able to challenge the call, even though the Lakers were the ones who called the timeout first. So the T-Wolves were first able to challenge that call in general, and they were able to get it overturned as well, and it was a foul on LeBron James. And then the biggest thing is it took away the timeout for the Lakers because they only had one timeout remaining because of the play before where Luka fell and they didn't call anything. So the Lakers were then out of timeouts and had to get the ball up. We're only down by 3. They got a semi-decent shot from Austin Reaves in the corner, but he missed it to go to overtime. And now the Lakers are down 3-1. So a lot of things could factor into this. You can kind of look at officiating somewhat. You kind of look at the Lakers and some of the mistakes they made down the stretch, especially with the offense, or even to Coach Redick and just some of the things that he was doing and really just not allowing any subs there in that second half. But just now, just to sum up, my big question is, can they get back in the series? And to be honest with you, I really, really, really don't know, because the Lakers down in the spot before, they are going home, which is going to help. And I do think the Lakers will win that game 5, just due in large part. So, but a big thing is when you're down 3-1 is it's one game at a time, and you can't really be looking to game 6 or 7. You have to look at one game at a time. The big thing is for the Lakers that kind of helps is they have a break in between games 4 and 5, as their next game will be on Wednesday, so they'll have some time, even with some of the guys who played all of those minutes there towards the end. We'll have some rest period in between them, but the Lakers will have to give an all-out effort to even get back in the series, just because of Minnesota's physicality and just the way that Anthony Edwards is starting to turn out and play. And then also Julius Randle, big credit to him, really, just because I've never really seen this guy play this well really at all at his point in his career in the playoffs. So he's had big contributions. Then Jaden McDaniels has been a guy that's been taking advantages of some of the mismatches the Lakers have, being undersized in some spots. And just, it really hurts with the Lakers when they cannot play another big, and that big currently is being Jackson Hayes. And like I said, he had a good start to the game, but then picked up a couple of fouls, and picking up a technical foul. You cannot pick up a technical foul if you are a role player. It's just unacceptable. And now you got the results of this, and now the Lakers, I think for the foreseeable future, might be going with that centerless lineup going forward. And I wonder, see who is going to be the rotations. I think it might be the guys coming off the bench now is just probably Jared Vanderbilt, Gabe Vincent, and probably some Jordan Goodwin minutes maybe. We haven't seen Dalton Knecht all series. I doubt we will see him in the series at this point. So the Lakers are going to just have to throw everything in the kitchen sink in game 5 if they want to keep this one going on. But that's probably going to be it for this video, guys. Let us know in the comments down below of what you think happened in the Lakers. Do you think it's over? Do you think Lakers can somehow muster, or do you think Lakers can somehow muster the way up and get back into this series? And just one more thing for us, guys. There is still 80% of you guys, or over 80% of you guys, who have recently watched our videos who are not yet subscribed to the channel just yet. And if you guys want more of that Laker news, Laker content, Laker updates, just every and all things LA Lakers, you guys can come right here to Lakers Digest so you don't miss any of that action.